Renting a house or a flat is now more expensive than it's ever been. The website Find a Property says it now costs £867 to rent a home for a month. And that's an average for the UK as a whole. In London, monthly rents are now just below £2,000. Well, Henry Pryor is a long-time estate agent and property watcher. Welcome to Your Money. Let's talk about this from the point of view of landlords, because many of them are watching this particular programme. If landlords are getting more rent, does that mean this is unalloyed good news for them?
Well, it might do, Declan, but I think the thing we have to watch out for is the fact that if you're investing in property, it's a serious and very adult occupation. This is not like first-time buyers who are given perhaps a slightly easier run of it. If you're investing in property, you're looking for two things. You're looking for yield and you're hoping for capital growth. Now, we know that the vast majority of commentators at the moment are talking about potentially falling capital values. So unless we're going to see rents rise, we still have a problem for some buy-to-let investors in that their yields are not looking particularly good, although we expect them over the longer term to start to improve as capital values fall and rents rise. And
by falling capital values, that's as straightforward as the flat that you bought to rent out to someone else is still falling in price.
Absolutely. Remember, there's an awful lot of people, particularly first-time buyers, who in 2007 at the peak of the market were borrowing 90% loan to value, who are now sitting on effectively negative equity and can't move. Everybody who would be coming in to take their place on the housing ladder is going to look towards buy-to-let investors, to landlords in the private rented sector, which the government is very much encouraging, in order to provide this accommodation for people coming in.
But this survey says there is still lots of demand for properties to rent. There are still lots of people out there who are snapping up properties in, 49 days or so. It says here, that sounds like the demand is still there.
The demand is still there, rather like the demand is there in the sales market. We know that when we look at big property websites, there are in the order of 6 to 8 million people apparently looking for a house. But we know from HMRC, from the taxman who monitors the actual sales, that last month only 73,000 actually sold. So there's a big gap between what the number of people actually looking, demand, and the number of people who are transacting. Longer term, it looks good for landlords, for buy-to-let landlords particularly, who will be able to see those rents increasing. But just at the moment, there is a degree of nervousness, as there is across the wider economy.
And how long will rents continue to rise, in your view?
Well, there is no sign of a let-up in demand. And as a result, we know that the government is very keen to encourage people to come into the private rented sector. We're looking at starting to see businesses, pension funds perhaps, also coming in there. I think that the demand is going to continue to grow. We're therefore going to see rents gradually rise over the longer term, which will be good news for investors in property.
OK, Henry Pryor, thanks very much for joining us. And that